How's it going, guys? Today we're going to be injecting 3000 cc's of JDM Legend into our Toyota Prius. So I was ready to move on from the Prius, but checking out some of the comments you guys have been leaving in the YouTube videos and in the Steam discussion boards, I just couldn't stop there. You guys were sharing with me some mad stats about your maximum speeds, your track times, and you guys took it further than me. You were using the 2JZ swapped variant of the vehicle, and I just had to see if I could beat your times. So in today's goal, we're going to take the 2JZ variant, and we're going to see if I can beat Astro Felix's time of 1 minute 26.82. Now, I've got my work cut out for me here because Astro Felix is somewhat of a legend on the Steam community posts. He's known for setting blistering lap times. Even the time he posted with the 2JZ, that's faster than a time I've managed to get using the Pagani Zonda going around that track. And I upgraded every performance part I could on that thing. My experience also tells me that trying to take high horsepower vehicles around that track is an absolute nightmare. So, our goal for today's video couldn't be clearer. We're going to take a 2JZ swapped Toyota Prius and see if we can beat a 1 minute 26.82. If we're unable to beat that time, then we're going to modify it until we can. Okay, so in order to get access to a 2JZ, unfortunately the game doesn't quite let you perform an engine swap. If we have a look here at the menu, you can see that there is another variant you can put in there, but it's still a 4-cylinder. So we're going to go ahead and turn this car into a donor vehicle, which is a shame really, because I really wanted to take the same chassis from Eco to Hero. But let's head over to the showroom and pick up our 2JZ variant. Okay, here we are at the showroom. Oh, check this out. This looks like it's built on the villain vehicle from Fast and the Furious, the S2K. This thing is sick. All right, here we are once more buying another Toyota Prius, and we want the 2JZ. Now, just to make sure we're getting the right thing. Oh, yes, that is a straight 6 beast. Now, the other thing that's interesting about this is that I'm pretty sure this is actually rear-wheel drive, but we'll check it out when we get it back to the shop. Okay, we're back at the shop. Let's put this puppy up on the lift. And let's have a look at the drivetrain. No EV module, so the hybrid aspect is gone. It is definitely rear-wheel drive because we've got a drive shaft coming down from the gearbox, sending power to the rear wheels. Look at that gorgeous straight 6 block. This is going to be fun. So it looks like from the factory, we're already making 508 horsepower. So I doubt that we really need to do much to add power to this thing. Really, all we need to do is optimize its grip. So, well, that, and we need to carry on the spirit of the original Prius one. So I'm going to transfer the body parts first. Oh, it's so sad looking. Look at it. Stripped of all its glory. What glory there was to be had. Guess what's coming your way, buddy? Okay, so while we got the wheels off, we're going to do some other upgrades here to support all the extra power that we're going to be pulling down. I'm thinking that we're going to go ahead and upgrade these brakes, and we might also upgrade the tires too while we're at it. Okay, so we've stripped it right down. Let's go ahead and get the brakes on while it's all exposed. Okay, performance brakes. We're going to give this thing the full bananas. Let's go for the carbon ceramic brakes. We're going to take 4. Now, while we got the brakes off, let's go ahead and paint the calipers so we can carry the spirit of the P1 or the Yoda Prius 1 over to the new car. Now, I believe this is the color we went for last time. Let's go ahead and throw that on. Okay, time to throw in our painted calipers. And next up, we need to spec up tires on this thing. So those race tires before, they were running much wider than stock, but I think we're going to need a little bit of extra grip to handle all the extra horsepower. So let's see what we could do about that. Okay, so we're going to go for full-blown racing slicks this time. We want 4 of them and 20-inch to fit our rims. Now, for this, I'm thinking that might be a bit wild. Let's go with 325. That should do us. The reason I don't want to go 355 is because when you put tires that wide on a car like this, it really pokes and it looks absolutely dreadful. Okay, here's our McLaren tire. Off it comes. And on with the replacement. On with our last slick, and time to install our performance tires and wheels. Now we're still getting a little bit of poke out from the fender, but look, we need to get the power down, so we're just going to grin and take it. Let's do the other side now. Okay, so now we've got our tires on. Next, we've got to get the body on. Now, I started by getting all the parts out of my inventory that go on this vehicle. We should probably get the wheels on too while we're at it. Okay, so now that we got all the vanilla parts back on the original car, let's put our McLaren-inspired parts on the new car. Okay, so now it's really looking the part. Let's check out the wheel fitment. That's a fair bit of poke in the rear. What about up front? Up front, that's kind of acceptable. Look, we're just going to overlook the amount of poke because at the end of the day, this car has got its work cut out for it. I'm supposed to beat a 1 minute 26.82 on the track, and like I said, even with a Pagani, I haven't beaten that time before. Let's go ahead and get a 2JZ P1 painted. Here we go. Okay, so with our Prius 1 ready to hit the... Hang on a sec. Oh, with our Prius 1 ready to hit the track, let's go and get our wheels set up. Okay, guys, so I got my Logitech G29 all hooked up and ready to take the car to the test track. If you want to know how I managed to get USB wheel support working for this game, check out the video that I've linked here. Okay guys, we got our 2JZ swapped Toyota Prius with a rear wheel drive drivetrain. We're on the track and we have to beat a 1 minute 26.82. How hard could it be? barely managed to keep it on the track coming out of Devil's Tail there. Oof, okay, we've binned it. We've got to have another go now. You really need to modulate the throttle on this thing. You check out where the assists are, the traction control and the electronic stability control lights. You can see that they're going off all the time with this car. And we haven't really done anything to upgrade it aside from put bigger brakes and bigger tires on it. Well, that and 2JZ and drivetrain swap a Toyota Prius. Let's give it another go. That's not going to do it. We got a little bit of a drift there. Ooh, got a massive. Okay. Yep. Seriously, we could build this thing into a drift car. It kicks out so easily. Kissing the apex nice and late. Very controlled exit there, all things considered. Heading into Stadium Bends 1 and 2 now. Oh, and we binned it. That was shaping up to be a good time too, I think. Okay, let's have another go. Foot hard down. Ah, jeez. Okay, guys, I'm going to have one more go going around the lap in the car in its current build. I suspect we should be able to beat the time with the current setup, but I am a little bit worried about our straight line speed at the moment. The car is quite controllable and it still feels overpowered in its current state. So we're going to have a couple more goes at this and then see if we need to take it back to the shop and tweak it a little further. Put hard down. Fairly smooth exit going out onto the Boeing straight, heading into Witch's Broom now. Heading towards Stadium Bends 1 and 2. Out into the final bend now. Here we go. Okay, so we set a 1 minute 33.8. Well, it's basically an 8.2. Guys, I don't think we're going to be able to do it in this current spec, so let's take it back to the garage and see what we could do to get more power. Okay, guys, so that didn't quite go as I'd hoped. It looks like we're going to need a bit more power, particularly to get through those straights and just to improve our exit speeds. So let's see if we can mimic the bolt-ons we did on the original car. What the? Oh, for goodness sakes. Okay, so I'm thinking that we start with a bunch of bolt-ons. Let's take a look at a performance air filter. And while we're at it, let's put a bigger turbo on as well. Let's change out the entire exhaust system. Put a high performance throttle on as well. Bigger fuel injectors for sure. And a performance intake manifold. Of course, we can't forget about the ECU. Now, to make this an even less eco-friendly car, we're going to go ahead and put a bigger fuel pump in here too. Plus, we could certainly use a bit more acceleration, so we're going to go ahead and take this gearbox out. Off it comes. While we've got it exposed, we might do something about the clutch and the pressure plate as well while we're here. And of course, the exhaust system. Okay, here's all our parts. Let's make our shopping list. Okay, we're done purchasing all our parts. It's time to hook them all up. Put in our flywheel and our clutch plate, our performance custom gearbox, our bigger fuel pump, and of course we need to put in our exhaust system. Now we're dropping the car down and we're going to do some of the work in the engine bay. We're going to put in our intake manifold. We're going to put on our performance throttle. Our performance variant of the exhaust manifold. And of course, our bigger turbo. Let's drop in a filter. And we can't forget our standalone ECU. Nice. Now let's take it to the dyno and see if we can make a bit more power. Okay, let's start by tuning this bad boy up. There we go, 16% more power. Now somehow I'm not quite happy with the way we're performing with 6 gears, so let's go ahead and add 2 more. I'm going to dial this in so that we have a top speed of about 320 kilometers an hour. The thing that always gets me. We forgot to put in our bigger fuel rail. Okay, now we're good to go. So we currently have 508 horsepower. Put your guess in the comments below, but I'm hoping we're going to make about 650 to the wheels. And the power number is... ooh, 685. Not bad at all. That is a very good increase. But is it going to be enough for us to beat 1 minute 26.82? Okay guys, so we're all hooked up with our steering wheel again. We're ready to take it to the track and have another go. So previously we were still scoring over 1 minute 30. So let's see if an extra 180 horsepower is going to help us take 4 seconds off our time. Put hard down. Whoa, gear ratios are so much shorter and the acceleration is so much better. Whoa. Okay, I got to vary my throttle input a lot more now. This feels fantastic. We were definitely not up to this speed by this point in the straight. To the witch's broom. Oh, we bend it, so let's have another go. Put hard down. And we're away. Oh, the shifts are so short at the beginning. This is way more like it. Concentrating very hard now. There's one thing I've learned. Rather than keeping your foot hard down and just fighting the car, if you're more gentle with your inputs, you get a much better time. But maybe not that gentle on the brakes. Now this is messy. Guys, I've got to tell you, I'm absolutely loving this tuned 2JZ Prius. This is awesome fun to drive. It's not too much power, but it's just enough so you really got to work the car on the track. Let's go again. These gear ratios are so much better. You almost got to go flat out through there. It's really unnerving coming out onto the bone straight, flat out. To Witch's Broom now. Shifting down, heading under the tyre. Approaching the big one, Devil's Tail. It's less about braking and more about finesse on this corner. Whoa! So, not what I just did. Okay, we're heading in towards Stadium Bends 1 and 2. Heading towards the final corner now. Oh, we're a bit close to that time. So off the mark, with some mistakes, we managed to wipe 2 seconds off our time with an extra 150 horsepower. I really feel like the horsepower number we're making is right about the balance point. If it made any more power, this thing would be undrivable. All right, let's go again. Foot hard down. Much better shift off the line there. Got a little bit sideways there. Feel like that exit speed is going to kill this run for us. And we've overcooked it on the Devil's Tail. I'm basically short shifting to try to control the torque, whereas I probably should be lifting off a bit more. No, that run's no good. We've got to get smoother exit speed off the Witch's Broom. I'm either making a consistent mistake with my driving, or we need to give this thing more power. I don't think it's an issue with power. I think it's an issue with my drive line. Let's give this another go. The thing that's very surprising in the drive physics of this game is that trail braking really helps a lot. Trail braking is where you hit the brakes hard and gently release off them as you enter the corner. I'm not sure if I can really blame the car because there's about a 1.6 second variation between my best and my average time, which means that this is really coming down to my driving, not the car. I will say though, if the 1.28 is the best I can do with it, we are actually going to have to add more power to this thing. As much as it feels fantastic to drive right now. Guys, I'm going to give it one last go before we take it back to the garage and add power. I really don't want to give this thing any more power because it's just at the edge of being drivable. Had to do some opposite lock there in order to get the car straight. It's crazy to do that in a Prius. Guys, it's looking like a 128 is the best I'm going to be able to do with the car in its current state. So we're going to take a little break and then I'm going to come back with a bigger built engine. Okay guys, so here's our plan for the 2JZ Prius. I'm going to rip that engine apart. I'm going to install every single performance alternative I can. Forged pistons, everything we can do. Okay, guys, I've completely torn down the engine. I've been to the shops. I've bought all the performance parts. Now it's time to throw it all back together. Okay, so we have finished building our engine. Now it's time to get it back in the car. Okay, the new engine is in and it is looking good. Let's take it to the dyno and you know what? Let's tweak the gearbox a little bit. I think we could do a little better. Okay, I don't think we're quite getting up this fast, so I'm going to shorten the gear ratios by lowering the final gear, or increasing as it seems. And let's aim to top out at around 280. And what we might do is we might drop a gear as well. There we go. I'm not sure how this is going to be to drive, but I'm hoping it'll balance out. This should give us a bit more acceleration, but also lengthen some of the distance between the first couple of gears, because it was a bit quick. If I shorten the final ratio further without dropping one of the gears, I'm not going to be able to shift quick enough to keep this thing maxed out. Okay, so I'm expecting to see over 800 horsepower from the mods we've done. Put your guess down in the comments below. So last time we got about 180 horsepower more. Whoa, 804. So that increase is a slightly smaller one than we saw last time, but I'm hoping it's going to make a huge difference on the track. I really need to beat Astro Felix this time. It's so important now because I'm pretty sure he did this with a stock tune. So let's see how we go. It doesn't say a great deal about my driving if I can't beat him with an 800 horsepower 2JZ monster. Just before we take it to the track, I'm going to give it a wash for good luck. Please be faster. Okay guys, we're back on the track and I've done a little bit of practice. As I suspected, this thing is very difficult to drive. Although the tuning that we did to the gearbox has made the gear ratios so much shorter. This thing gathers speed like it's falling off a cliff. It's amazing. The real trick is just having the correct amount of throttle control. Here we go. This is a real run. Foot hard down. Check out that acceleration. That is wild. Once again, I'm probably not going to be talking much because I'm just trolling cars talk. Oh dear! Oh! Getting a bit aggressive with the race lines there. Apparently those little brake markers are made of concrete. Oh, come on! No, 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 no! Ah! 127.2. Oh, clearly we can make this if I could just keep the car under control. Okay, this is the one. I can feel it. This isn't the one. That fishtail, there's no way that's gonna fly. Ah, overcooked it. Oh! No! Oh, that's what I get for being cheeky. I can't keep the car straight. Pretty good. Oh, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it, we can do it! Oh, so close! After what seemed like 1,000 laps and 2 trips back to the garage to tweak the 2JZ Prius, time was running out for me to beat the time. I knew I was getting close after that last lap. I was getting close, but I wasn't quite there. And then I had one last go. Yes, we're gonna do it. I think we're gonna do it. Yeah, we smashed the time. Woo! Yeah. Oh my God, we absolutely demolished the time. So taking a look at our track time leaderboard, you can see we already have 2 Priuses here. The faster of the 2 still being 7 seconds off the pace of a Golf R. However, given the heart of a JDM legend, we managed to push the Toyota Prius to the top of our leaderboard, smashing the next best time by over 20 seconds. It scored a 1 minute 24.04, placing it indisputably at the top of our leaderboard. That's right, the fastest car on Shred's Garage is a 2JZ swapped Toyota Prius. Astro Felix, I totally got to hand it to you, bro. I know you did this either with a keyboard or with a controller. How you managed to get that time with the 2JZ, I'll never know, because it took me a lot of effort and pain, and to be honest with you, I had to stop between recordings because the CPU in my computer was overheating from it being such a hot day, this being the hottest room in my house. This was a challenge in more ways than you'll ever know, but I did beat your time, and it wasn't easy. Mate, props to you. Guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Shred's Garage. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, share with a friend. And as I always say, if you can't build your dream, you should still dream your build. It's refreshing to finally be amongst some proper cars again. I mean, look at this McLaren F1. I think this is based on a GTR. Yeah, oh gosh. That was my dream car when I used to play Need for Speed back in high school. Oh, and look at that. The natural environment of a 2JZ. No more horsing around. No more nonsense. Just, wait a minute. What the hell is this thing? Oh, for the love of Pete!